Sunday talks. Zelenskyy invites President Trump to Ukraine. Scoffs at possibility of peace negotiations with Russia. The last refuge. First things first. Did you notice the byline on the NBC report we discussed about US and EU officials beginning talks with Ukraine about peace talks to end the stalemate? For those who didn't notice, Kristen Welker was one of the reporters who wrote the article, NBC LINK. Then today, Zelenskyy appears on NBC Meet the Press, with Kristen Welker, to discuss the status of the Ukraine war and say there is no stalemate. Funny, but not accidental, how that happens. The full interview link is here, and below. However, during the interview Welker asked Zelenskyy about President Trump saying he end the conflict within 24 hours. Zelenskyy scoffs at the possibility and rejects that any peace negotiations could take place. Watch. 3 minutes. I'm going to try and put the absurd nature, literally his World War Reddit disposition, of Volodymyr Zelenskyy over there on the side for a moment. That's not easy. And accept his pronouncements are with what he genuinely believes, with the full weight and support of the U.S. State Department, CIA to frame his reference. On Saturday, I sat down with an emotional President Volodymyr Zelenskyy who spoke to me in both Ukrainian and English and acknowledged his people are tired but undeterred. His plea to U.S. lawmakers: give Ukraine one more year of aid and it will be able to close its funding gap, or, he warned, the price for the United States will be even higher. Kristen Welker. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than President Zelenskyy. Let me start off by asking you. It has now been more than 600 days since Russia invaded Ukraine. How would you describe the state of the war right now? Volodymyr Zelenskyy, translated. Thank you very much for the question. As far as the situation on the front is concerned, I think, of course, I cannot provide all the details to you. But nevertheless, we hold the initiative in our hands. You can imagine what a full-scale war or what 2 years of a full-scale war is like. Everybody gets tired. Even the iron gets tired. But, nevertheless, I am proud of our warriors and of our people, that they are strong. Our people are helping. Our people are mobilized. And our people have a strong desire to win. Again, some spheres, Kristen, we see steps forward. Sometimes they are slow steps because of the landmines which Russia planted there while we were preparing for a counter-offensive. And in some spheres, we have problems with the air. Unfortunately, this thing hasn't changed since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. We have seen Russia's domination in the air. It's a fact. And without the air defense, our steps forward are slow. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, English. But I can give you one example about Black Sea. We have great success in the Black Sea. Even after Russia blocked Black Sea and cancelled our grain corridor. Grain initiative. By the way, we help by this corridor countries of Asia, countries of every country to manage the hunger. And I think that was very important, crucial. And when Russia cancelled it because they had initiative in the Black Sea, they blocked Black Sea. Now, we really defeated it. We really defend our Black Sea, and Russian fleet is being destroyed by our ammunition. And now, Russia doesn't control fleet. That means that we used all ammunition, sea, drones and air defense, to defend this region. It's very important. That was a signal. Signal that we can manage this war even against such a terrorist organization like Kremlin. Kristen Welker. The strategy of this war. This summer, and you reiterated right now, the progress has been slower than desired. And recently one of your top generals said Ukraine has, quote, reached a stalemate. Has the war reached a stalemate? Volodymyr Zelenskyy, English. Kristen, you know, on the 24th of February when Russia invaded our cities, country, our land, our families, and they attacked all of us, the world gave us 3 days. Some European countries who really believed in us, they said 1 month. Others said it will be very quick. And this is really this situation, what they said. But now we speak with you. Now, it's almost 2 years. Now, initiative in our hands. Yes, a lot of people. Of course, in the world are tired. Of course, it's understandable. Somebody tired on the battlefield, somebody tired on the works, and somebody tired abroad. They want to come back home to their husbands, to their soldiers, to these guys, women and children. Somebody tired from European leaders to support Ukraine. Yes, of course, because long war. Time equals 400 ms, greater than Kristen Welker. I hear you rejecting the characterization by your top generals that this is a stalemate. Are you changing strategies, as has been reported? Volodymyr Zelenskyy, translated. I believe that today. Indeed, the situation is difficult. I don't think that this is a stalemate, this attack on the part of the Russian army. But before that, we did a lot. We have done a lot. We had a very difficult situation. They thought that they would checkmate us, but this didn't happen. And on the contrary, we took the initiative in our hands. Now, Russia wants to attack us. They are attacking us in the east of our country while losing thousands of people and hundreds of units, pieces of weaponry. We don't see it, but in the Andriivka direction in the last week, 200 pieces of weaponry, of ammunition were lost, have been lost. Thousands of people have been lost. They have been killed. Volodymyr Zelenskyy. English, so we don't see details. Sometimes our attitude to the war, that somebody's staying on the one place. But it's not just stay. When you stay, you kill the enemy, and this is the fact. Of course, Russia understands that now when focus from Ukraine taken off, and when this focus to the Middle East, and when they try to divide the world in this crisis, Israel, Palestine crisis, and of course, Russia is very happy with this war. They don't count how many children were killed there. They don't think about the flag or nationality. We saw some moments their attitude. We saw what was in Makhachkala, Dagestan. This is the part of Russia. This is what the biggest wave of anti-Semitism. So what they want, they just want to divide the world, to take focus from Ukraine to another war. And if it will not be enough for them, I'm again repeat it, and I'm repeating it these 2 years. If it will be not enough for them, it will not be enough. Because Syria was not enough. They began in Ukraine. After Ukraine, in the Middle East. They will continue their plan. And you see that Iran is supporting them, in Ukraine. Supporting them with the weapons and now in the Middle East again. Kristen Welker. So, President Zelenskyy, are you looking at a shift in strategy to try to gain the upper hand right now? Volodymyr Zelenskyy, translated. Time equals 400 ms, greater than our military are coming up with different plans, with different operations in order to move forward faster and to strike Russian Federation unexpectedly. But barehanded, it's impossible to do without weapons, without relevant, proper weapons. It's a fact. Therefore, we have to prepare. We have to clearly understand what steps could be more appropriate. And we have to move forward faster. Kristen Welker. President Zelenskyy, NBC News is reporting that US and European officials have begun quietly talking to your government about what possible peace negotiations with Russia might look like to end this war. Have you personally been involved in these talks, and what's the status of these talks? Volodymyr Zelenskyy, English. A lot of different voices around us. I heard a lot of different voices and emotions and without any contradictions and propositions, a lot of different things. But as for me, I don't have, today I don't have any relations with Russians. And they know my position. That is the position of my country. That is the position of our people. We don't want to make any dialogue with terrorists. And the President of the United States and Congress, bipartisan support, all these people, they know that I am not ready to speak with the terrorists because their word is nothing. Nothing. We can't trust terrorists because terrorists always come back. Always come back. Kristen Welker. As you know, with this attack against Israel, Americans are now being asked to fund 2 wars. And there's growing skepticism about ongoing support of Ukraine, particularly among Republicans in Congress. What is your message to U.S. lawmakers who don't want to send another dollar to Ukraine? Volodymyr Zelenskyy, translated. Thank you very much for this question. First of all, it's not aid to Ukraine. I think that it is aid to the United States and the European Union. As I said, I believe that Ukraine is defending our joint values, common values. I will repeat. I believe that Putin wants to divide Europe, to weaken the United States of America. And he always wants to find a hot spot in Europe so that there is no stability in Europe, in the Middle East, what's happening now, and on other continents, too. And I believe that Ukraine is defending both the European Union, the European continent, and our common values. Volodymyr Zelenskyy. English. My message. One more message. You have to understand how we fight, how we live. You have to understand, just to come to Ukraine and see. We are the same people. We have the same values. I'm really thankful to President Biden. By the way, he was here. And I think he's a strong man. And it was a historical moment. He's a hero because he was in those moments under a Russian missile attack. But he was here, and he understood more about Ukraine. Yes, he knew Ukraine even before this invasion. Yes, he knew, but he understood the heroic attitude Ukraine has to democracy, to their people, to their houses, to their families. And he understood. He began more strongly to help us. And I'm also thankful to Congress. I had the opportunity to address Congress 2 times. And really, Congress and the bipartisan support was very important in a very important moment. Now, it's a very important moment not to lose the will, not to lose this strong position and not to lose your democracy. Time equals 400 ms, greater than please. It's very important. Now, you don't send your soldiers. God bless. Don't send your daughters and sons to other NATO country. Because if Russia will kill all of us, they will attack NATO countries, and you will send your sons and daughters. And it will be, I'm sorry, but the price will be higher. That is my signal. And believe in democracy. Believe in Ukraine. Kristen Welker. How long should they expect to send more money? When do you anticipate you can end this war? President Zelenskyy? Volodymyr Zelenskyy. I think that the next year with the challenges, because this is the year of your elections. Now, again, we see the critical situation in the Middle East. So I think your help is very important for the next year. And that is crucial. And I think, if we will manage all the things that I said, the gap will be minimized in our budget. And after that, after next year, if the war will not finish next year. If it will not finish, I think that using air defense systems, using this platform of cooperation and co-production, and using these new jobs, I think we will manage to minimize this gap and you will not help us such high price. I'm sure. That's it. Kristen Welker. And to be very specific, I'm going to ask you about the election momentarily. You are asking for more air defenses. F-16s obviously are in the process of being ready. What more air defenses do you need, President Zelenskyy? Can you be specific? Volodymyr Zelenskyy. English. Yes. Anti-drone systems in specific drones which our defense ministers and commanders they know very well. That's drones which can attack enemies and also drones which are intelligent. They provide intelligence. So these specific things we began to produce. Kristen Welker. And when we come back, more of my interview with President Zelenskyy, including his response to former President Trump's proposal to end the war in 24 hours. Kristen Welker. Welcome back. As the Republican presidential candidates prepare to meet in Miami this week for their third debate, Ukrainian President Zelenskyy spoke directly to the frontrunner who will not be on stage, former President Donald Trump. Kristen Welker. President Zelenskyy, former President Trump, who is the GOP frontrunner, has said that if he is re-elected he could end this war in 24 hours. What is your reaction and message to former President Trump about that? Volodymyr Zelenskyy. English. Former President Trump said that about 24 hours, that he can manage it and finish the war. For me, what can I say? So he's very welcome as well. President Biden was here, and I think he understood some details which you can understand only being here. So I invite President Trump If he can come here, I will need 24 minutes. Yes, 24 minutes, not more. Yes, not more. 24 minutes to explain President Trump that he can't manage this war. He can't bring peace because of the Putin. But always there is an if. If he's not trying and if he's not ready to give our territory for this terrible man, for the Putin, if you are not ready to give it, if you are not ready to give our independence, he can't manage it. Yes, he's welcome to come to Ukraine. Other presidential candidates have obviously come to Ukraine as well. Have you had any contact with former President Trump since he left office, President Zelenskyy? Time equals 400 ms. Greater than Volodymyr Zelenskyy, English, number. No. That's why he's very welcome to repeat our tradition, which was when he was the president. Kristen Welker. Do you think he would have Ukraine's back if he were to be re-elected? Volodymyr Zelenskyy, English. Really, I don't know. Really, I don't know. I hope that it depends not only on the president institutionally. I think it depends on the opinion of Americans, of your society. I think that is most important. I think it's important in the United States and EU, the attitude of just ordinary people. It's their support. It's their money. It depends on them. Kristen Welker. There are reports that you plan to visit Israel. Is that true, and what will your goal be? Time equals 400 ms. Greater than Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Translated. From the very start, on the first day of the attack by the terrorist organization Hamas against Israel, we condemned this aggression and we stated our position. And I said that we are ready to go to Israel today. It is difficult to say because I'm a president of a country at war, and you know that on our battlefield it's very hard. Therefore, my visit there depends on a number of things. I have to be open. First, so what's happening on the battlefield defines many things. And, second, it depends on whether we will be able to get our citizens of Ukraine who are stranded there. If we can get them out of there, if for this it's necessary for me to be there. In Israel, in Egypt, wherever our people are released, I will fly there if it's possible. If that can be done without my involvement at the level of diplomacy, they will do that then. Kristen Welker. Do you believe Israel is following international law? Time equals 400 ms. Greater than Volodymyr Zelenskyy. Translated. I have to be sincere. We are looking at this situation as if something new. It's not a new situation at all. It's a fire that has been burning between Israel and Palestine, and some people are still throwing matches into this fire. And I'm sure that Russia was behind and sponsoring Hamas. And Iran, too. That's who is to blame. When we talk about laws, rules, where there are terrorists, there are no rules. Everything is beyond laws. Everybody's trying to save their own lives and fight against the enemy using all the effort, all the forces. First, in order to finish this war and sit down at the negotiation table, pressure on Russia and Iran, you have to admit that these countries are behind approaches. And I would also add North Korea there. You saw how many North Korean munitions were found in Gaza. It's a fact, absolute fact. And it's difficult, of course. The main thing is that if terrorists are attacking, if terrorists attack, if they behead children, you have the full right to defend people and defend your own country, state. But we have to understand. If we can open humanitarian corridors, take away prisoners of war, help people who are not involved there. The whole world should do this and the whole world should do all they can to stop this war. Kristen Welker. President Zelenskyy, thank you so much. Before you go, if you want to share, what keeps you going? Do you ever feel defeated? Volodymyr Zelenskyy, English. I have a lot of power, but even feeling strong, and I have a lot of energy, it doesn't mean that we want to fight all our lives because the price is high. Like I said. Because the war takes the best of us, the best heroes, the best men, women, children. That's it. But we are not ready to give our freedom to this expletive terrorist, Putin. That's it. That's why we are fighting. That's it. Kristen Welker. President Zelenskyy, thank you so much for your time this morning. We really appreciate it.